BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
You're listening to Wednesday's episode of The Archers from BBC Radio 4.
Mum's getting stuck into that first lot.
Moaning her head off, I dare say.
She always does, doesn't she? Goes on about how she hates turkey plucking.
She's sitting down listening to the radio. Don't know what she's got to complain about.
I said to her, would you rather be stunning them and cutting their throats? She admitted plucking them was a better option.
Any Roger, can you give me a hand with this wire, Edward? I reckon we're going to need a couple of extra lines to hang them from once they've been plucked.
Hang on a minute, Dad.
What?
Who's that?
Where?
Out there. Some old woman.
Oh, yeah.
Picking her way towards us like she don't want to get her feet wet.
That's Hazel Woolley, that is.
Eh?
The miserable old cow chucked us out of Keeper's cottage after the flood. I heard she was back in Ambridge.
What's she doing here?
Have to ask her, won't we? Morning.
Oh, hello. I was told this was where to come to buy turkey.
Yeah, you've got the right place.
Oh, that's a relief. I didn't realise it would be quite such a trek across the field.
Well, you're here now.
So, I don't see any turkeys.
They're just over there in the pole barn.
If you'd like to stroll across there with us, you can pick your own.
Oh, I'm not really dressed for this. I should have borrowed some Wellingtons or something.
Give you a piggyback if you like.
No, I'm sure I can manage.
What?
Don't I know you from somewhere?
I really couldn't say. Any road, what size of turkey were you looking for?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. Family size, I suppose. It's for my friends at Bridge Farm.
That'll be Pat and Tony Archer?
Yes.
Bridge Farm I've already ordered.
That's a very kind thought. A very kind thought indeed.
Well, I do seem to have caused a bit of an upset.
Oh, how's that then?
Oh, I own the flat above the village shop, you see, and I've had to ask the tenants to move out.
What, Tom and Natasha?
You know them, do you?
Yeah, of course.
Well, Tom accused me of ruining the family Christmas.
Oh, did he? That's a shame.
So I thought, what can I do by way of recompense?
Well, buying them one of our turkeys is a very nice gesture. And I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. Won't they, Edward?
Oh, yeah.
So shall we go over to the barn and you can select one?
Oh, I'm really perfectly happy to leave it to you to choose an appropriate bird.
Oh, no.
If you'll just give me your bank details, I'll do a transfer.
It'll come across as a so much more thoughtful gift if it's been personally selected, don't you think?
Well,
So, come along, take my arm. It's not too muddy.
I've spoken to Lily about it and she's agreed.
Oh, I knew she would.
And she is, as you say, a vastly experienced and talented rider, so I think we can capitalise on that.
How do you mean?
Well, I shall have to discuss it with Lily, but I'm sure we can use her riding skills to transform the arrival of the Kings into something more flamboyant, more of a grand event.
So she'll be the lead king now, will she?
Of course she will. Oh, I'd better have a book of a dozen second-class stamps as well, please.
It's just, well, I was thinking that maybe, to be on the safe side, we should do without horses altogether.
What makes you say that?
Well, it's just that horses do have a habit of, not to put too fine a point on it, of pooing at inappropriate moments.
Oh, Susan, really?
And it would be disastrous if the King's stately arrival in Bethlehem should be upstaged by an incontinent animal.
I think you're worrying quite unnecessarily.
And now, was there anything else?
No, that's all, thank you.
Right, that'll be £39.84 then, please.
Goodness me, the price of stamps these days.
Susan Carter,
Yes?
I have a bone to pick with you.
Well, you'll have to wait your turn.
What exactly have you been saying to Hazel Woolley?
What do you mean?
You've told her, haven't you, about how I spend my days upstairs working?
What?
And what a terrible imposition it is having to sign for the occasional delivery.
I don't know what you're talking about, Natasha.
Could I have my receipt, please, Susan?
Oh, yes, of course.
So you're going to deny it, are you?
Deny what? I haven't spoken to Hazel Woolley except to sell her a packet of paracetamol.
So she's been in here then?
Only the ones that I'm aware of.
And you took that opportunity to complain about the upstairs neighbours.
She said she had a headache. There you are, Linda.
Thank you.
I know it was you.
What was me? I don't understand what you're saying.
How many times have you moaned to me about having to sign for deliveries?
Well, it is a bit of an inconvenience when we're busy in the shop.
Well, it may interest you to know that Miss Woolley is throwing us out with barely any notice on the grounds that I've been running my business from there.
I'm very sorry to hear it, Natasha, but honestly, it's got nothing to do with me.
Well, someone has been pouring poison into that woman's ear, and who else could it be? And everyone knows you can't keep your big mouth shut.
I beg your pardon.
Now, Tom and I have lost our home, and it's all your fault.
Oh, my goodness. Are you all right, Susan?
No, I'm not all right.
You mean this one?
No, the one in front.
This one?
No, right a bit.
My right or yours?
That way.
Ah, you mean this one?
Yes.
Right, hang on, just let me get hold of it. Right, there we go.
Oh, that's a good big bird you've got there.
It does look a bit on the large side, now you've got hold of it.
Reckon you could feed a family of 20 with that one.
That's too big.
So not this one then?
I'm sorry.
No problem. Off you go, fella. Stay of execution for you.
It's so difficult to tell. Oh, what about that one there?
No, he's a bit on the weedy side, I reckon. Just fluffing out his feathers to make himself look good.
How can you tell these things?
Oh, years of practice.
Oh, can't you advise me? Please. I really have no idea what to look for in a live turkey. And at this rate, we're going to be here till Christmas.
Oh, all right then, let me have a butcher's. Just by your left foot, Edward.
What, this one?
Yep, that one.
Come here, you. Got you.
What do you reckon?
Fine.
Should be about 6 or 7 kilos, dress weight.
Is that a suitable weight to feed a family?
As long as they're hungry.
Right. Let's settle for that.
And would you like the honour of killing it?
What?
With the electric stunner?
Good heavens! No!
Just to give your gift the personal touch.
No, absolutely not! Just give me your name and bank details so I can arrange payment.
Well, if you're sure. My name is Eddie Grundy.
Grundy? Oh, of course. I knew you from somewhere. You're Joe Grundy's son, aren't you?
Oh, finally, the light has dawned.
How is old Joe these days?
He died a couple of years back.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, tragic, really. He never got over being so heartlessly evicted from Keeper's Cottage after the flood.
What?
Oh, forgotten that, have you? Well, I suppose you've evicted so many people in your time, haven't you? Must all become a bit of a blur. Any road, Edward here, my son Edward, will dispatch this bird for you, and then escort you down to the shed, where Clary, my wife Clary, will pluck it, unless you fancy plucking it yourself.
No!
And surely it's not that simple. How can working from home be grounds for eviction? After all, half the country was doing it during lockdown.
Of course.
So I'm guessing Hazel was just using it as an excuse to put a bit of pressure on Tom and Natasha.
But how did she know about the deliveries coming to the shop?
Well, you're not in here all the time, Susan. Any one of the volunteers could have mentioned it.
I suppose.
And it's typical Hazel Woolley behaviour, isn't it? Inventing spurious excuses just so she can get what she wants. Although
What?
I had quite a long conversation with her earlier this week.
With Hazel?
Yes, she called round to Ambridge Hall. Did you know she lived there as a child?
Oh, I suppose she did, yeah, when Jack Woolley owned it.
And she seemed... Well, she mentioned she'd been quite ill.
Really?
Yes, she had COVID, and she seemed more thoughtful. I got the distinct impression that she'd mellowed as a character.
Well, you got that wrong, didn't you?
She even expressed regret that she won't get to see the mysteries, since she's not going to be here over Christmas.
But you didn't say anything to her about Natasha.
Absolutely not. I haven't the first idea about her working practices.
So why me? Why does she go and pick on me? That was really embarrassing, shouting at me like that, in front of Sabrina and that woman from Beechwood. Oh. I mean, you know what this place is like for gossip. It'll be all round the village by now. Oh, I'm seriously wondering how I can go back to work at Bridge Farm.
Oh, Susan.
I mean, I'm always bumping into Tom when I'm there. How can I look him in the eye and be polite to him when his wife has abused me like that?
You can't let this affect the rest of your life.
Well, I'm not going to give up my job in the dairy, that's for sure. I really missed it all the time I was at home with Martha.
This will blow over, Susan. Natasha has made a false accusation, and sooner or later she'll realise her mistake, and then she's going to have to give you a grovelling apology.
I shall look forward to that.
Well, I did suggest to Mum that she could recruit Hazel to help her with the plucking, but to be honest, the poor woman was looking pretty knackered by that time. Mum took pity on her.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve no pity.
Oh, any road, Mum sat her down, made her a cup of tea, and honestly, Dad, you should have seen the state of her shoes. Completely wrecked they were.
Well, she should know better than to visit the farm in fancy little bumps like that.
Felt quite sorry for her.
Oh, don't. Heaven knows she can afford new shoes. And it made me feel better having a bit of fun at her expense.
It took me a while to realise what you were up to.
Yeah, it was a good laugh, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And that's one oversized turkey we're going to get paid for twice.
I thought Bridge Farm had already ordered.
Of course they have. But they'll never know Hazel Woolley paid for it as well as them.
I just can't believe she didn't recognise you.
Doesn't surprise me. To people like her, we're nobodies, to be pushed aside when we get in her way.
Right.
And it's not just us, Edward. Half the village has been done over by her at one time or another. She's caused no end of trouble over the years. And showing up out the blue like this, trying to pretend she's turned over a new leaf, that she's a nice person now, it just won't wash. And the way we ran rings around her this afternoon.
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. I bet your granddad was looking down on us and laughing his socks off.